Are you like a karate teacher or you just right into it?
No, I've been a student since college.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. Ich, ni, san, chi. That's all I remember.
Go. Number 5 is go.
Go. Hey
All
guys,
right.
welcome to Inside Comics with George Michail. Really quick, if you like this content, subscribe and tell a friend about it. Today, my guest is Brian Menard. Brian, thanks so much for being on the show.
I really appreciate it. Thanks, George.
Brian, so you are the founder of Dojo Kun Comics, and you
Yes,
have
sir.
a book called a Siamese coming out. Well, now it's on Kickstarter, or it's on Indiegogo right now.
Right. And it's a trade paperback. It will collect the 4-issue miniseries called Siamese.
And you've been working in comics and writing for like the last 6 years now, and I'm wondering if you can give the viewers out there some of the do's and don'ts that you've learned along the way.
Okay, sure. Yes. One of the strong don'ts I have is not to create Mary Sue characters, the ones that swoop in and save the day. They're hard to be, they're not relatable. What you want to do is you want your main characters to have believable and relatable challenges and obstacles such that when they overcome, you've got a true story arc of growth.
Yeah.
And then I would say another don't would be uh, don't try to write the next Batman or the next Superman. The power set is one thing. You can always use those, but what you want to do is you want your own characterizations, and you want to create your own personalities because to mimic those, that's a recipe for disaster.
One of the don'ts I kind of promised myself, it's almost like my New Year's resolution this year, is I'm not going to hire an artist and start working on a book until I've written it right to completion. Because like mostly I do like these original graphic novels, and a few times now I've like written issue 1, written issue 2, and I got like the rest of it kind of in my mind. But then it's like I get excited and I hire the artist and we start rolling these books out. And then it's like, oh, wait a minute, where am I going with this thing? I didn't have this thing plotted out as tightly as I thought I did. And
Very
so,
good
like,
point.
my New Year's resolution was to write the story start to end before hiring an artist.
So do you write it in prose form, start to end, and then worry about making it a comic book script later? Or do you
No,
do it as a script right from the start?
right from the start, I write
Oh,
in comic book form. Yeah.
okay.
And what are some of your do's? What would you tell people that they should do?
One thing to do is write your script the way you want to present it, but then go back through and look at it as if you'd never read it before, or ask someone nearby or close to you, that is, who can edit it for you, but not looking for grammar and punctuation. That you can do on your own. But if you're too close to it, sometimes you'll speed through things and you'll make the book less conversational than it needs to be. And I think that's kind of important. You want them to be conversational. If they're too filled with platitude and exposition, it's not as interesting to read as if it was just like two people talking. Even if it's a bad guy, good guy, they are going to just talk to each other, even with their threats.
Yeah, I oftentimes when I'm writing, what I'll do is I'll just write the dialogue first, and I'll just try and have that conversation in my mind as I'm writing, and then from there you can kind of split it into pages and panels, and and then do the panel descriptions for the artists.
That's a good
That's
idea.
one way I work. Another thing I like to do is I like to really plot out my books before I get going. Sometimes I'll buy, the big poster boards from the dollar store, and I'll get little post-it notes, and I'll put them, and I'll map out, and not just for action beats, but also for character arcs, and I'll kind of map out each character's emotional arc, and then also physical. What are they doing, and where are they going in their story, and how does that affect them? So that's one of mine is kind of plan ahead for sure.
I like it. Yeah, another do that I have is sometimes I will use a comic book trope. Like for example, the original misunderstanding between superheroes. Of course, they have to have their obligatory fight before they find out they're on the same side. If you do that well, it can still work. And it sort of harkens back to the day when Marvel and DC were really knocking it out of the park and writing exciting stories.
Yeah, that's like using genre too, right? You can, yeah, you might have a story that's like one person's personal growth and how they change from maybe, you know, being submissive to being, you know, standing up and being self-actualized. And that story could be told through many different types of genres, whether it's a horror story, whether it's a sci-fi story or a superhero story. So,
Yes.
you know, figuring out what your story is at its core, and then you can change, you can decide which route you want to go. That's a do too, for sure.
I agree. Yes. With superheroes, that's sort of my niche because I've collected comic books for 47 years now. And that's really what I read most was superheroes. And, lately, except for the big two, I felt that there's sort of been a dearth of superheroes out there. So as an indie comics creator, I've really focused on that. Although Dojo Kun Comics does have a horror novel and one set in medieval times. So, I do like to branch out on genre sometimes.
So tell me about this name, Dojo Kun Comics. Where did you come up with that?
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I've been a karate student since I was in college, and the Dojo Kun are the five rules of the karate dojo. One of them, for example, is to endeavor. So, I sort of look at this comic book thing as an endeavor that I'm pursuing. For example,
Awesome. And so on Indiegogo right now, your book is called Siamese. And
yes, sir.
can you tell me about that book?
Sure. Siamese is a four-issue miniseries collected here in this trade paperback, and it's really a great launching point for the superhero universe of Dojo Kun Comics. In Siamese, the two main characters called Siamese are introduced, but several other superheroes are too. So it's really beginning to build the superhero universe. At the end of this four-issue miniseries, there's another four-issue miniseries already scripted called Deanna Hammer of the Angels. And then following that will be Dojo Kun Comics' team book called Trident's New Alliance. So, I won't get into all the details of those two series, but what I can tell you is I've got enough scripts probably to take us out 7 or 8 years.
Oh,
So I've been in this for 6 years, like you said a little while ago, and I'm in it for the long haul.
that's cool. So you're building like a huge universe there.
Yes, most of the comics, and you'll see on our website if you take a look, are interconnected superhero universe.
Awesome. And who's the artist that you're working with on Siamese?
On Siamese, I'm working with Zilson Costa is his name. He's a Brazilian artist. And the great thing about Zilson is he and I have a wonderful rapport. When I send him a script and he sends me back the penciled thumbnails, I try really hard to find something that needs to change, and I'll be darned if it almost never needs to change. He's so good at interpreting my script, so he's a lot of fun to work with.
What kind of perks are you offering on Indiegogo?
Oh, wow. Yes. So there's going to be a keychain, there's going to be a wall poster, a canvas print. One of the stretch goals will be a challenge coin. I just recently learned what those are. They started out in the military, and those are a lot of fun. There's going to be, oh, well, a very lofty stretch goal, hopefully, will be action figures. So
Okay.
cross your fingers for that one.
Brian, I want to thank you for being on Inside Comics. Siamese is on Indiegogo now. I encourage everyone to go out and take a look at that project and back it. If people want to find you on Twitter, it's what is it,
It's at BD Menard.
right? And then you're on Facebook at Dojo Comics.
Dojo Kun Comics, right?
Dojo Kun Comics. Yeah, dude, you're pumping out lots of cool stuff, and I can't wait to dig into your shared universe. Thanks so
Thanks
much
so
for
much
being.
for having me. I appreciate it. Thanks, George.
Absolutely. Peace, man.